Hello, beloved listeners, and welcome to Snake People at the Movies, film criticism by people who actually like film. Join us as we dive into movies we love, movies we respect, and movies we wish we could unsee. It's the podcast where we talk about growing up and living queer, nerdy, and depressed online and at the cinema. From the kids who were born 20 years too late to see Jaws in theaters, it's Sneople at the Movies. I'm Ezra.
I'm Helena.
And I'm Maddie. Welcome back, Ezra.
The whole gang is back together.
Hi.
Yeah, did I miss
Welcome
two
home.
episodes in a row? It's been a really long time.
You missed one, and then we were all together for one, and then I think you missed the one before that.
I did.
So you missed a couple this summer. You've had a lot going on.
I moved, so I am coming at you live and in person from the other side of downtown Bellingham, which is 2.1 miles from my old apartment, because it's Bellingham, nothing is very far apart here. Like, the other side of town is fucking negligible. It's great. Yeah, so, I don't know. I got a new bed. I finally put my bed together, I got a new mattress, and then promptly slept for like 10 straight hours.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah,
I need a new mattress, too.
Yeah, I am slowly but surely winding back into being a person after putting my life on hold for 2 weeks. So, yeah, thanks for keeping the home fires burning for me while I was gone. Love you guys. And
Always.
Glad to be back making our dumbass show.
Hell yeah.
I was literally, people like kept being like, hey, like, you know, I had like 3 separate people ask me to come do something, and I was like, no, I have to go podcast. And they're like, oh, what podcast?
Yeah.
I'm like, so.
Well. Listen to my podcast.
Here's the concept.
Yeah, so if anybody from my work starts listening to this show, shout out, hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Anyway. So, Ezra, do you want to talk about what you saw, like, this summer? Because you weren't on for the last episode?
Yes. Let me pull up, whoever invented Letterboxd, I don't even really use this as a social media site, I just use it to keep track of, you know, things. Because I would forget my own head if it wasn't attached to my shoulders. I
use it as a list, and also to see what my friends said.
Wow, yeah, no.
Yep. Some dudes in New Zealand.
I rewatched Alien. I did a lot of rewatch. Rewatched Alien. Rewatched The Martian. Finally got to show my roommate Master and Commander. Which is there anything better than showing one of your friends one of your favorite movies and having them be like, oh, "This is delightful," and I'm like, "Yes, yes, it is." Anyway, never get tired of that movie. The Obi-Wan Kenobi show, which I understand people have criticisms of, and I'm not interested in hearing them because it was satisfying to me on a personal level, and also I don't do Star Wars fandom anymore. We did talk about Die Another Day on here, right? I feel like we talked about Die Another Day.
We talked about Die Another Day last episode with Ben.
I also saw Die Another Day. Whatever you guys said, I'm sure covered the sheer level of just like, wow, they don't make them like that anymore. Insanity. I saw the Elvis movie, about which I have to say, I genuinely had a really good time. I saw it in a movie theater, which I think was worth it. I never thought I would say this about a Baz Luhrmann film, but it could have been more camp. Mm-hmm. Like, it had room to be more extra, which is not what I would have expected. But the fucking guy who played Elvis was unbelievably good. Like, he's just electric. Like, it is, I mean, I don't really understand what the fuck Tom Hanks is doing. Like, Tom Hanks, so, like, he gets away with it. But it's like, it doesn't really work that well for me, personally. This guy, who, incidentally, guess what he fucking, was in before this? The Sword of Shannara series on Netflix?
No shit!
I about shat myself.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's fucking Will Omsford from the Shannara series, aka, like, the biggest drip in the universe. He's incredibly good. Yeah, he's fucking great. I don't know. I like Baz Luhrmann movies.
Bummer about that show, but, like, good for him.
Yeah. I don't know. You know, that's, at the end of the day, I fucking like Baz Luhrmann movies, so, like... And also, that was kind of fun. I went to go see it with my parents, and I rocked up, like... I couldn't find a parking spot, so I rocked up, like, slightly after them. And I was, like, if the previews had already started... And so, like, shout out to the Pickford Cinema, in Bellingham. Keep rocking. Anyway, I got there and I was like, oh my god, like, are the previews still going? They're like, yeah, you have like 10 minutes, don't worry about it. Like, also somebody one member of their party didn't show up, so they just left a ticket here. So I got in for free. That was
sick.
Fun. Yeah, anyway. I whatever. I didn't think that hard about it. I had a good time. I saw The Sea Beast, which is really good that I'm not 10 years old, because I would have been fucking insufferable about that movie.
Yeah. I think that is the consensus of this show.
Yeah,
is like, whatever issues this movie may have, is that if we were kids when this movie came out, we all would have been really annoying about
I would have been out of control, and I probably would have been just as obsessed with Captain Crow as I am now, because unfortunately I have Jared Harris problem, as is well documented.
Jared Harris
on the
is
show.
so good.
Jared Harris is so good. I saw Moana finally, which was like pretty fun. I'm really sick of Lin-Manuel Miranda's like personal style at this point. But all of the songs that weren't in English were delightful. And whatever Jermaine Clement was doing is that was a fun, the fucking giant crab thing.
Yeah.
I felt like was a fun callback to the old Disney phenomenon that TV tropes called the big-lipped alligator moment. Where like suddenly the film just has to take a hard left into the like borderline drug-fueled bizarre, and then kind of just swings back around and doesn't really acknowledge that it went there. So that was fun, as someone who grew up on on older Disney formulas, to see the return of the big-lipped alligator moment. Or in this case, the big-lipped crab moment. And I finally saw Promare, which for the first 10 minutes I was like, is this like just a really bad dub or something? And then just spent the entire rest of the movie fucking hooting and hollering, because it was just delightful from start to finish, and I want to watch it again. And then I haven't logged it on Letterboxd yet, I forgot, but I went to go see Pickford again. God, I love the Pickford. They do movies on top of the parking garage, the single parking garage in Bellingham, Washington. God, this is a small town. But during the summer, they put up a big inflatable screen and do, there's like a beer garden and stuff, and they do movies on top of the parkade, and this is the Summer of Swayze as a tribute to the late, great Patrick Swayze. And so I went and saw Point Break.
Oh, yay. That's where you saw Point Break. Yeah.
I saw Point Break, like, eating a hot dog and kettle corn.
Ideal.
And whispering comments about the homoeroticism to my friend Ruby.
Yeah.
Truly the ideal. There's
As someone who just saw Point Break for the first time, but like in my house, I was like, wow, this movie is not fully what I expected based on what I know about it from Hot Fuzz.
I don't know what I expected out of that movie. It was not that. Somehow, no. I think
it took a really hard turn right at the end.
Yeah, it really does. Somehow I missed that it's primarily about surfing.
Yeah.
I knew it was about, like,
It was a Fast and Furious plot, where there's a cop who's infiltrating, like, a group of criminals.
I really, all I got was that it was one of those, it was the classic, not a Valjean Javert setup, but, it was the classic, like,
a little bit.
I'm an investigator obsessed with the, the charismatic criminal, like, I can't catch. Like, I understood that was, but I did not realize that it was mostly surfing. Also, people jumping out of airplanes.
Yes.
Jeez, and people, wow. I feel like people don't get the shit beaten out of them like that, except in horror movies these days. Like, I don't know if that movie's rated R or not, and maybe I just don't watch, like, gritty realism.
There's no way it is not.
No, it has to be rated R. There's no possible way. It's gotta be rated R. Anyway, what I'm saying is
there's a police raid at one point that is, like, fairly gratuitous.
Brutal. Yeah, but it's just, like, it's... I feel like you just don't get that level of, like... The violence just doesn't... It feels so much more sanitized. It's like either it's a slasher or the violence is more sanitized than that. I don't know. It feels messier in a way. But that's my thing about, like, most movies made before, like, 1999, is that they just feel messier in a way that I actually, like, prefer.
Yeah, I think they're more high impact, I will say.
Yeah.
Like, the things just hit harder.
Yeah.
In all kinds of ways. I definitely agree on that front.
Also, I gotta say, I'm just not particular. Like, I gotta say, I understand why people are really horny for Patrick Swayze.
He doesn't really do it for me.
He just doesn't really do it for me. He's very charismatic, but I just, I was like, yeah, okay, you're...
Sure.
I'm very impressed.
I'm here for Keanu Reeves.
I'm very impressed with the level of body control you have here, and that hair is really, really butt ugly. Also, that movie is gay.
Yeah, he doesn't have great hair.
He doesn't have great hair.
That movie is gay.
That movie is I was listening to the Overinvested episode on Roadhouse, which is the next movie on the Parkade that they're doing, that I'm also going to try to go see, maybe, depending on...
Yeah, I do want to see that.
I think it might be the weekend that we're doing a thing already. But... C'est la vie. Where they were like, look, the thing about many movies, from this era in particular, but just, still sometimes, is that the plot of this film makes no sense unless you take it as written that these two men desire each other carnally. There's kind of just literally no other explanation for any of the choices that anyone makes in those films. And I just kept sitting there thinking, yeah, this movie doesn't really make any sense unless you take it as read that these two men desire each other carnally. Yeah,
the chemistry that they immediately have is
I was very proud of myself for acknowledging that there were other people there and not yelling, please just jerk each other off in the showers and get it out of your system. Anyway.
Very proud of you. Good job.
It's been a long summer. It's only August. Time is fake.
And yet it's been a long summer, I get it.
It's been a long summer. Yeah. I don't have a segue here. At all.
Okay. That's
okay. One of us will save you. Maddie, do you want to go or do you want me to go?
I'll go.
I just talked a whole bunch in a row.
That's great.
You've
been gone for a bit. Yeah. So Helen and I saw The Godfather, which we talked about at the end of in the last episode that we were going to watch it. Then we watched it. That movie's really fucking good. We've been talking about watching that movie for a really, really long time. I've never seen it before. There were so many moments where I was like, wow, this doesn't happen to me very often, where I'm watching a movie and I have, moments of clarity of, whoa, fuck, this movie's good. The rhythm of it was fascinating. The kind of ebb and flow of it was also something I have not really experienced while watching a movie before. Al Pacino is so hot. He's so good. He's so hot.
We were just constantly interrupting the movie to be like, he's so small. He is such a small man. I could fit him in my pocket.
He's so small.
He's having this badass
perfect
moment where he's like, I'm gonna become... he's having his turning into the Godfather moment where he's sitting in the chair plotting the plan to, kill McCluskey and Sollozzo. Yeah. Where he's just like, you're so small.
You're so tittle. Tittle. I just tried to say tiny and little at the same time. Clearly fucked up.
Yeah, that's what he is.
He's so good. My God,
yeah,
he's so good. Anyway, I'm excited for us to all watch part 2.
Yes.
God. I rewatched Top Fuzz, my beloved. Rewatched Return of the Jedi. That's the continuing adventures of me watching all of Star Wars with our friend the show Madeline and her sister. I watched Desperado from 1995 with Leia, because we were hanging out. Leia was like, I don't know, do you want to watch Desperado? And I was like, why not? Two beautiful people doing all kinds of crimes. That movie's stupid as shit. Steve Buscemi's there?
Love it.
It's great. I had a great time. It was really, really fun. It was another one of those moments where I was watching this movie and I was like, they don't really make movies like this anymore that are just kind of dumb as shit. In this particular, dumb as shit, but really fun, and also not self-effacing about it. Is yeah, this is a dumb as shit movie and you're having a really good time right now. And I'm like, you're right. These are all true facts about this movie. So, I had a great time. Really enjoyed it. Rewatched Men in Black. Technically used a rewatch. I saw it once when I was a kid, and then I was just kind of kicking it in my house, and I was like, I don't know, I guess I'll watch Men in Black? Oh. Really fun. it is a PG-13 movie. I don't know why I associate it with being a child in the 90s, but, like, it is a PG-13 movie for sure. But, like, very fun. Like, I think I've seen 2 and 3. I might go and watch them again just to finish that out. But it's like, I don't know, you don't have to think about it too hard. They're fun movies. I watched All the President's Men for the first time to take a really abrupt shift in tone.
God, I love that fucking film.
It's so good.
I cannot wait to. We're going to talk about it in a little bit. I have a story to tell about All the President's Men.
Yes, so we'll get into it. I now have a tag on Letterboxd that is a movie that everyone said was good is good because of this movie. Where I was like, I just need to start that. Like, really, really enjoyed it. Both Dustin Hoffman and Robert Redford are great. Remember when you could respect the Washington Post? Anyway. And I rewatched Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, which is that Netflix docuseries by Samin Nosrat, who I have tremendous respect for. I love food. I love, like, the history of food. I love food culture, all of that. I think she's deeply charming. She laughs a lot, which is something I, like, find so compelling, and I find very relatable. If anyone can... I've had to start editing my laughs in Sneople, specifically because I laugh so loud and so much that it blows out the speakers. So, I found her very relatable. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of documentaries, as you could probably tell through Sneople, but, like, I'll watch anything about food. You guys know this, I think, but when I was a kid, I would read cookbooks while I was eating lunch. And that is the kind of person I've continued to be in my adulthood, so... Amazing. Well worth watching, I think. So that's me.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
I rewatched
I also...
Like, just
so
it's genuinely
good. It's
profound.
so delightful.
Yeah. And, like, useful and interesting. The first time I watched it, I got progressively drunker the longer I watched it. I was just sitting at home, like, drinking. And I'm like, I'm gonna actually, like, watch this and appreciate what's going on here. So I think it's really, really worth your time if you are interested in food at all and haven't watched it yet.
Yeah. The cookbook's really good, too.
Yes. I have it. I need to, like, sit down and actually, like, read it.
Yeah. She made me not afraid of putting as much salt into my pasta water as I want. She just, like, throws that shit in there. I love it.
Yeah, watching her in the salt episode, salting the water for her green beans, and she puts in fistfuls and tastes it and is like, not enough. And I'm like, yes, you are so fucking right. You're so fucking right. I love that this is, I guess, a salt, fat, acid, heat moment, but, like, I love that she's so... encouraging of, like, don't be afraid, especially I feel like in the US there's such a strong diet culture that is specifically so afraid of things like fat and salt, and she's so specifically like, no, that is what makes food good, that is what makes it worthwhile, like, you have to use those, you do not need to be afraid of them, here's exactly what they do. She talks about how it's so important to her for cooking to be accessible, which is also something I so deeply believe in. And I love that she started off with fat, which is specifically, like, something that U.S. food culture is so afraid of, and she just refuses to be afraid of it, or let anybody be afraid of it. It was just so... God, I love her. I'm obsessed with her. I think she's great. I love food! Fuck, I love food!
You're making me hungry.
I know, I'm sorry. Good. I also haven't eaten dinner yet, so, like, this is a little bit like going to the grocery store
I also
when you're
have not
hungry.
eaten dinner yet. So Maddie and I are both just making faces at each other like...
I know. I want to make a ragu so bad. I am, like, dreaming of a ragu.
I want to make focaccia. I should make focaccia again.
I want to make focaccia.
We should make focaccia when you're here.
We should make focaccia. Yeah, anyway. Helena, please, take us out of here.
Well, obviously, I rewatched The Godfather as well. I was there for that. I was definitely there, just, like, having a good time, excited to watch part 2. Al Pacino is the smallest man in the world.
The littlest man who's ever existed. You can't believe it.
He's the littlest guy. I also got to see Nope in theaters, and I fucking loved it. I think it's my favorite Jordan Peele movie so far. I was never... ever at one point, like, you know, even with good movies that I think are very, very good, there's sometimes, like, moments when my attention goes, you know, does that weird thing. that happens when you have a disorder, probably. But I did not think of anything else except what was happening on that screen for a single moment while watching that movie. It was fucking amazing. I love it.
Later, I just want to talk to you about it because I want to know what I'm getting into before I go see it. In terms of, like, sure. Just because I really liked Get Out, and I read, like, one plot summary of Us, and I was like, cool, I can never watch this film. I have a as is well documented on this show, I have a body horror threshold, and holy shit, that movie was going to be over it.
Yeah. It is not a horror... I mean, it's still a horror movie. It's not as much of a horror movie in the way that Us is and Get Out are a horror movie. It's more like horror science fiction or horror adventure.
Alright.
Which is the same thing I told my mom when she was like, oh, I don't know if I can see it. And I was like, Mom, you've seen Jaws like a million times. This is
I was going to say, you've compared it to like Jaws a few times.
Yeah, it's very, very much Spielbergian in that way. And,
alright.
Yeah, and it's still like, there's still like a really terrifying moment, but it's more like Eldritch kind of horror moment rather than like body horror.
Sure, that's fine.
I certainly didn't have, like, that moment to me was like really terrifying, and I keep thinking about it and being like, but I didn't have any moment where I was like, oh dear.
Okay.
So that's good. I watched Adam's Rib, which was fine, but it was the first movie I've seen with Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn together, and holy fucking god, their chemistry is unbelievable. It makes me want to die because they're so in love. Ugh, disgusting. They're just.
I know. I need to see that too. That's been on my list.
It's pretty enjoyable, I have to say. And she's, my wife. I saw Gremlins 2, The New Batch, which is a perfect movie, no notes.
Why? Stuff. Can I ask why you decided to watch Gremlins 2?
So I recently, and this is actually a good opportunity to talk about this, I am a fan of the YouTube channel Royal Ocean Society, where Andrew Saladino talks about a lot of different movies. He makes really good video essays, and I learn a lot every time I watch them. He's a big animation fan. And he did a video called Joe Dante's Battle with Hollywood, which was like talking about his trials and tribulations trying to make a fucking movie and being like constantly beset at every single corner by fucking Warner Brothers. It was specifically about like what trials and tribulations he went through to make, I think it's called The Explorers, and then also Looney Tunes Back in Action. But there was this brief, beautiful moment where he made Gremlins, and then it was such a huge success, and they were like, he's like, I really don't want to make a sequel. They wanted him to make a sequel to it. He's like, I really don't want to fucking do that. And they were like, well, guess what? You can make a sequel, and you can do whatever the fuck you want. We literally we won't touch it. We won't do anything. We won't tell you what to do at any point. And he was like, okay. And that's why Gremlins 2 is the way that it is. I just think that a movie where at one point the film itself breaks down and then it cuts to a movie theater where they're showing the actual movie that we're watching, and the projectionist is complaining, and then the usher goes to tell Hulk Hogan, who's sitting in the audience, hey, Hulk, can you threaten the gremlins so they can turn on the picture again? I think that that's a perfect film. This is something that happens in the movie. Hulk Hogan tells the gremlins to put the picture Gremlins 2 back on. It's very good. Christopher Lee is there. It's fantastic. He's there. There's a moment where a gremlin in a trench coat is singing New York, New York in a crowd of gremlins.
Sure.
Perfect movie. No notes. Anyway, everybody watch Gremlins 2 on HBO Max.
How important is it to watch Gremlins 1 before experiencing this glorious fever dream?
All you have to know about Gremlins 1 is that there are these two kids who live in this small town, and there's this adorable little creature that they get from this mysterious man, and he says, don't put water on it, don't let any water get on him, don't feed him after midnight, don't do these things. And then, of course, what happens is that those things inevitably happen, and these awful creatures split off from this adorable, oh my god, why am I forgetting my son's name?
So you want to
He's
know?
my beautiful son.
I have only seen this movie when I used to work in the bookstore. We would have it up on the TV, so that is my only context for Gremlins 1.
Gizmo was the name of the beautiful. I don't even like Gremlins.
Funny.
One is fine.
At one point I thought that Gremlins and the Goonies were the same movie.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, with what you have just described, I thought was the Goonies, which I have also never seen.
Nope.
So yeah. Anyway.
Oh.
So wait, did you just learn at this moment that the Goonies and the Gremlins are different?
No, so what happened was I knew that they were two different movies, but I didn't know what the Goonies was about, and I had put the things I knew about Gremlins, which was don't feed them after midnight, I thought was the Goonies.
About the Goonies. Okay.
Which I still don't know what that movie's about.
Goonies is a pirate ship, lost cave adventure, sort of, kind of.
We'll talk about it.
Anyway,
we'll talk about
it.
The kids on bikes.
It's a kids on bikes? Okay. Have we done a kids on bikes episode?
No, but we should.
No. We should get Helen on for Kids on Bikes. I tell you what, we should watch the Goonies.
That's me,
Leia. We should get Leia on for Kids on Bikes. I was literally physically looking at you, which is why I said Helena. We should get Leia on for a Kids on Bikes movie. Yes, Helena's always on this podcast because they are a co-host of this podcast.
Yep.
I have no brain to mouth filter right now. And I learned something new today.
Yeah.
There we go.
Anyway. And you also learn that basically, once you know all those things about Gremlins 1, that's all you need to know. Basically, the same thing happens in Gremlins 2, except the two kids from the first movie move to New York. Okay. And that's what things get pretty interesting. We meet Gizmo again, thank God. My beautiful son.
Okay.
I rewatched Vertigo, which I haven't seen since I was in college, and for some reason, time and distance made me think that this movie is fine. It's not. It's fantastic. It's severely fucked up and incredibly, very wrong. It's a sick movie, but like an incredibly good sick movie where I'm like, Jimmy Stewart, man, what the fuck, dude?
Not cool, man. Not cool.
Let me help you. Gently puts my hands on either side of his head, snap out of it. But alas, no, it's not what happens. Incredible movie, highly recommend it. I watched Pennies from Heaven for the first time, which I was not a fan of, and I pretty much, unfortunately, from like less than 5 minutes in, was like, oh, I'm not gonna like this movie. Which is really unfortunate.
Rough. It's impressive that you decided to finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a movie finisher. Unfortunately, I make up for all of the books that I start and put down because I'm like, I'm not doing this for 500 pages which I recently did with a YA book that was fucking terrible, by finishing every movie that I started. Yeah, and like, it had all of the bones. I'm also a
movie finisher, but whatever.
Yeah.
I usually am a movie finisher. I did watch only like the first hour of Fellowship of the Ring the other day, but that's because I had a sobbing meltdown on the phone with my mother about some lost cooking implements.
Well, and also you've seen it many times.
Also, I have
I was gonna say some movies I'll like only watch part of due to time constraints or like because. In the example of Train to Busan, Amanda came home and I was like, I can't keep watching this movie. This is too much for her.
Yeah.
And then didn't proceed to watch it for like a year. But
I feel like the last time I didn't finish a movie, I guess, was technically also a rewatch, but it was when me and my ex-roommate were watching Spectre. Our stream crapped out and we both went, do you care about finishing this? And we were like, nah.
Not really. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I was like, this moment where Steve Martin is standing in his bathroom begging his wife to sleep with him, and then he starts lip-syncing to a 30s musical song, I was like, this is going to be a hard thing for me, but I'm going to see it through because I'm less than 5 minutes into this movie. And, like, the thing about it is that it looks quite nice. Steve Martin is very hot in it. Bernadette Peters is very beautiful in it. There's a number which justifies the whole existence of the movie for me, which I immediately shared to all of my friends. It was like, watch this or die, which is a Christopher Walken as a pimp in a bar who does a tap dance striptease number to Let's Misbehave.
I I believe the exact threat was, I'm going to post this once every day until all of you watch it.
Yeah. It's important.
And it was, you were right.
Yeah, there you go. And Bernadette Peters was just watching it like,
this might as well happen.
This might as well happen. That was in the movie. That part was good. I just felt it was, I'm not a huge fan of the songs of that period, so listening to them constantly was kind of rough. Also, it's a really deeply misogynistic film, I feel. Very, very hateful. And that was pretty clear from the get-go, too. I was like, oh, this movie doesn't like women very much. So that was that, but I watched it. Then I watched The Piano. That was a good experience. Deeply repressed movie until it's not, and then all of a sudden it's deeply, deeply horny. I have seen things that were so wonderful and terrible at the same time. It's not like that horny. It's not like I'm talking about Sallow or the 120 Days of Sodom or something. It's The Piano. It's just like romantic horny. Sam Neill did this and Jurassic Park in the same year, and to that I would just like to say king shit. Really beautiful career. Score. Yeah, powerful stuff. He's not... Somebody left Letterboxd review that was like, Jane Campion's power as a director is that she makes Harvey Keitel hotter than Sam Neill in this movie. And I was like, I don't quite agree with that, because he's still Sam Neill, but I see your point, and I agree with the general bones of it. Basically right. And then last night, I rewatched Fiddler on the Roof, which I haven't seen as a movie in literal years. It's just, I love to cry for 45 minutes straight, the back half of that movie. It's so fun. I love it. It's been, a long time since, and I'm mostly just listening to the music, so there are whole plot points that I forgot, like the fact that, for instance, the dream sequence was something that he just invents in order to get out of having to say that I just let them marry each other. Fantastic stuff, beautifully filmed. It's Fiddler on the Roof.
It's something special.
What can I say?
Yep.
It's something special. And then I just kept on thinking of Alfred Molina doing that, which I didn't realize that behind the scenes clip of him doing that, If I Were a Rich Man, during the behind the scenes of Spider-Man 2 was because that same year he was also playing Tevye on Fiddler, and I just
I wish you could all see the fucking chin hands hard eyes expression that I just made.
Yep.
Look, I don't want to talk about it. I've talked about how horny I am about Alfred Molina plenty on this podcast. It does not need to get revived.
It's lore now,
I don't remember if this was wishful thinking or a real rumor. Do not quote me on this, because it absolutely could have just been wishful thinking of my father and I. But after seeing West Side Story, everybody, like, at least me and my dad went, when is Steven Spielberg gonna remake Fiddler on the Roof?
Interesting.
And more importantly, I just need Tony Kushner to adapt to do a new version of the book of Fiddler on the Roof, the way he did for West Side Story, and dismantle me into my component atoms. So anyway, I'm just gonna speak that into existence, because we could do a whole ass episode on Fiddler on the Roof, and I think maybe we should at some point. Or we could do just
totally.
What year did Fiddler on the Roof come out? Is that a 60s musical?
I don't think I've actually seen the movie adaptation.
Conveniently, the movie came out in 1971.
Conveniently, the movie came out in 1971. We should do a whole episode specifically on movie musicals of the 70s. Like, I know we have some on our list for tonight, but I would really like to kind of put a pin in that one and specifically do movie musicals of the 70s.
Okay.
Like,
totally.
maybe in a little bit.
Yeah. It is a 3-hour-long movie, but it goes by like that.
It used to be on 2 VHS tapes.
I like Fiddler.
I had it on. Yeah, it was that and Titanic were the two big ones that were so long they were on 2 VHSs.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the actor who plays Perchik in this movie, I didn't know this until last night, is apparently the guy who would later be in Starsky and Hutch. Good information that I had. From communist to TV cop, here we are. Full circle.
Okay, I learned 2 new things on this podcast today.
Yeah, that's his life cycle.
Damn.
I'm talking about him like he's a fly.
No, that's the Jeff Goldblum.
But yes, that is the Jeff Goldblum.
Pardon me,
which
that
is
was
not.
A
that's the
terrible
80s.
joke. That's the 80s.
We're talking about the 70s.
We're talking about the 70s. All right, everybody, hop in your fucking time machines. We're dialing back. My dad has long curly hair. I don't know what the fuck my mom is up to.
My dad still has hair.
Yeah, damn, your dad. Yeah. We dial back and watch your father's hair grow back in. Disconcerting. Yeah, we lost the war. We lost the war in Vietnam. We sort of thought maybe Watergate. Yeah, we sort of thought maybe things were gonna change, maybe because people were just so fucking done. The pant legs are wide. The
men's hairstyles are fluffy.
The men's hairstyles are fluffy as hell.
The women's hairstyles are fluffy.
Everybody's
a lot of patterns.
Everybody's pattern matching. Everybody's got fluffy hair. Nobody's making dudes wax their chests.
You're still allowed to smoke everywhere.
Yeah, everyone is smoking everywhere all the time. Oh my god. Yeah. Let's
Three
go.
millennials describe the 70s.
Look, all three of us. This is when this is when my parents were in high school, I guess.
Yeah, same.
Well, early 70s.
My mom would have been just would have been like late high school, early college.
I was gonna say, yeah, my parents were born in 1955, so they would have been
so was my mom.
Yeah.
My dad would have been solidly in high school for a good portion of this, though.
Yeah. So
we weren't even a twinkle in our parents' eye yet.
Nope.
We'll just say it like that.
Yeah, my dad, at least one of my parents at this point, was completely convinced he was never getting married. Look what happened.
Oh well.
Then look what happened to him.
I mean, yeah, my parents' 37th wedding anniversaries in like a week and a half. Congratulations to them.
Oh, congratulations to them.
It's a lot. It's a lot of wedding anniversaries.
Yeah, for real.
A+. Nice work.
And we have the beginning in film. We have the beginning of a lot of interesting things, and also kind of a lot of low points for a lot of things.
Yeah, true.
We have New Hope.
We do. Holy shit.
Which is like talk about the beginning of an era for all kinds of things. We have the beginning of slashers. We have the beginning of like the summer blockbuster. It was someone wrote out here that the Hays Code is fully out the window, which means that a lot of things are trying to change in the way that movies are what movies are depicting.
Yep.
Yeah. Which just in general with the Hays Code out and the new era of like the new Hollywood era in with a lot of younger filmmakers, you get things a little bit more gritty, darker, more violence, more sex.
Yes.
Which we love to hear.
Yep.
That's great. I love it.
I mean, it was pretty much out the window by the late 60s, but the 70s fully killed it.
It's the first, like, new decade that is, like, it's not touched by that.
Yeah. But the Oscars are still, as I was reading, like, which movies were, awarded the most. It took them a couple of years to, like, get up to speed with that, because I think, like, Patton was the biggest... Huh? Yeah, for real. Patton was, like, the big winner in 1970, and which is a pretty, as far as I know, pretty. I shouldn't say this because I haven't actually watched it. Biopic. Ryan O'Neal being nominated for Best Actor for a Love Story in 1970 is the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Especially considering that literally 2 years later he would do What's Up, Doc, and like completely make fun of the whole concept of that movie. What were they on? I don't even know. They nominated Al Pacino twice for an acting award in the 70s, and, the first time he lost to Joel Grey for Cabaret, so that's okay. I can live with that. And then the second time he lost to Art Carney, I think, for, fucking Harry and Tonto or something. And I just,
sure. Why not?
That's what I have to say to that.
It makes me fucking insane.
As I was flipping off the camera for
I'm flipping off the camera
yeah.
in this, again, audio medium. Yeah. Jesus, I'm tired.
Well, the 1972, the Oscars for movies that came out in 1972, which was also weird because they nominated Marlon Brando for Best Actor, which he won. And they nominated Al Pacino for Best Supporting Actor, when very clearly, I think if you watch the movie, it's flipped.
That is weird.
Marlon Brando is very much a supporting actor in that movie, and then Al Pacino is very clearly the lead, which they realized, I guess, in 1974 when they're like, oh yeah, here's a lead actor nomination. But they're dumb as hell. Anyway.
Well, yeah, I feel like one of the other obligatory segment besides what we sneeped on this show is Sneople v. the Oscars.
Yeah, I don't respect the fucking Oscars.
Yeah, it's great.
Literally in a boxing match with them.
Colin Firth! Oh my god! So, listeners, I would just like to publicly direct myself by announcing that I completely and categorically forgot Colin Firth's name for 15 minutes earlier. Yeah, no.
So, I was complaining about this Al Pacino thing, and they're saying, this is what the Oscars usually do, is they fuck up multiple times, and then they give an Oscar later, so they gave Al Pacino an Oscar for fucking Scent of a Woman.
Fuck off.
And Ezra was like, yeah, is this the Paul Newman Color of Money situation, or fucking, what's his name, British guy winning for King's Speech instead of a single man? I was like, Colin Firth!
God.
Best friend? Colin Firth?
That part of my brain fucking spontaneously unwrinkled for a minute. And just smooth as glass up there. I just I couldn't think of his name. I couldn't even think of enough to Google him.
My favorite part is but you had enough to be guy who won for King's Oscar for King's Speech. You didn't
who
think
was
to
also
look that
in
up.
this movie.
Yeah. Nope.
Although I would like to say that this turn of phrase that you coined here, what's his fucking name, British guy, is something that I am going to be using for the rest of my life for everything I watch.
No, you know what? That's
because there's so many things that I could apply to.
Also, I would just like
so
to
many
note that
guys.
That happened, and then I opened my phone to Google who the fuck I was trying to think of when another friend of mine was like, "What is pathologic?" Which completely derailed everything I was doing.
Okay, sorry, Colin Firth. We had to talk about an extremely Russian game instead of remembering your name.
Look, Colin Firth is very famous.
Is this what he gets for being a Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy?
This is what he gets. Well, maybe you should have been involved with Pathologic. It sounds like a hit problem.
Colin Firth, an actor who
was a Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Ooh, can we watch Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy again?
I still have not seen it.
Oh, we should watch that movie.
Yeah, totally.
Speaking of movies that are do a really good 70s aesthetic that are not actually movies from the 70s.
Jeez.
Keep opening.
What else is happening in this time?
I keep opening my Shadowrun character sheet instead of the
wrong video call. Yeah.
I feel like this was, correct me if I'm wrong from what I remember, but this is, in terms of the movie musicals that you were talking about, this was a very different era. I think, as far as I know, Hello Dolly was, as much as I enjoyed that movie, kind of killed off that era of the kind of big Technicolor musical film. Fiddler on the Roof is Technicolor, which I didn't know.
Yeah.
But they say it at the beginning.
Fiddler on the Roof is
different.
Fiddler on the Roof is timeless, obviously, but it has, and obviously we can talk about this more when we do an episode on 70s movie musicals. It has an undercurrent of existential angst which is present in, frankly, all media by Jews. It just is. We're an angsty people. What can I say? There's an uncertainty and an unresolved quality to Fiddler on the Roof, which, while stylistically in many ways it is part of an earlier mode of musicals, it is it has this sort of quality to it that makes it fit in with other contemporary ones like Cabaret and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
and quite a lot of other non-musical films of that period. Too.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
There's a sense of not really knowing where we go from here. That I think is for a hallmark of a lot of 70s movies. There was this sense of like everything's changing really fast. You have, the rose-colored glasses have come off of the counterculture movements of the 60s, but you haven't been completely buried in the reactionary politics of the 80s. Mm-hmm. And there's a sense of possibility in uncertainty, but also, I think, a sense that wherever we go from here, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be messy. It's probably going to be violent. It's going to be it's going to be messy. There's a mess to, and I think the best movies of this period embrace that mess.
Yeah. And it's interesting to think about Cabaret and Fiddler on the Roof being two movies that were made during that time.
We're doing an episode on this later!
Yes, we are, but that are set in different periods. Fiddler on the Roof being set turn of the century, and then Cabaret being set in the late 30s, 40s.
Yeah.
Being like...
It's the late 20s,
but
it's by
still...
Mark Berlin.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Sorry. Yes, thank you. Thank you for knowing.
It's okay. The Cabaret
and just that one of those period movies being like set in a different time, but being very much about the era in which it was made instead, which is always essential.
That's
and also all that jazz came out in 79.
True. I also feel like that's an interesting one where you look at so many of these of the sort of movies that have stuck from the 70s. Most of them are not period pieces. You think about, like, some of the great, like, movies from the 60s and the 50s, these spectacles that are being, supposed to be immersion in, like, a different time. I mean, Lawrence of Arabia, I'm gonna struggle, like, fucking Gone with the Wind, I don't even know, like, there's a ton of these movies that are these epics of where they're set they're a period piece. And so many more of these 70s movies are not. Or if they're period pieces, they're very, like, recent period pieces. There's not a whole lot of, like, we want to tell this story and we gotta set it somewhere else to kind of defang it a little bit if we want to make some sort of commentary on the current situation. The 70s are just like, nope. Gloves are off.
And I wonder if
that's very in line with... Sorry.
No, please go ahead.
That's very in line with what I kind of associate with 70s cultural sensibilities overall. Yeah. I mean, you look at the fact that All the President's Men came out in 76, and Watergate was 70... I mean, Watergate was earlier than that, but, like...
That just
Nixon
happened,
resigned
dude.
in 74.
That just happened.
Yeah, so, like, that happened, they released the book, and then they immediately were like, great, we're gonna make a movie about this one. Like, Nixon just resigned.
Motherfucker, the fucking chair was still warm from his crusty ass.
Yeah.
Gross.
I'm sorry, I'm having one of those nights where I'm on a mission to say as many absolutely cursed things as I possibly can. I'm not apologizing. I'm
someone's
just
gotta
letting
do
everyone know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of the end of that thought there, was like, yeah, that is kind of the 70s in a quick nutshell, is the gloves are off.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely, in a lot of
ways. And I wonder if a lot of that, too, has, in terms of thinking about, like, a lot of the independent filmmakers that were coming up in this time period, like, or starting out independent anyway, like Martin Scorsese and John Cassavetes were, like, mostly doing, especially with Cassavetes, who was literally, like, mortgaging his house in order to finance his own movies, being like, we're gonna work with what we have. I wonder if that had something to do with how a lot of these movies were usually contemporary, using New York City as it was as a backdrop, like Mean Streets, Taxi Driver for Scorsese, and then like Shadows, which is 50s actually for Cassavetes, but like Woman Under the Influence and Opening Night and Killing of a Chinese Bookie for Cassavetes, who I love Cassavetes. Just feel like shout out to him constantly.
I've never seen a single
Cassavetes
film. Really, like,
it's great.
It's
hard to watch, but
yeah, those. I don't know why I sort of like. I mean, obviously, like, my dad was kind of an art house guy, a little bit of an art house film guy in the 70s, and he like wanted to be a little bit of an art house film guy, possibly more than he actually was. Which is same. But I feel like the really gritty stuff, it's like I moved out before he had a chance to be like, let's watch this that I know is gonna fuck up my offspring. You know, you're not gonna show your 14-year-old Killing of a Chinese Bookie. Like, I mean, maybe you are, you probably shouldn't, but, you know, you do you. I'm not telling anybody out here. I'm not out here telling anyone that my dad wasn't going to. I'm not out here telling anybody how to parent. What do I know? I'm a bear. I suck the heads off fish.
Had to get it in there. Now, I first started watching Cassavetes because of a drama teacher that I had in college, who we would doing rehearsals in a two-hander when I was in my last year there. And I had a co-star who has a career now, so I shan't say his name, who was frequently late to rehearsals. And so when we were waiting for him to show up to rehearsals, we would just talk about movies. And he was like, oh, you gotta see... Because Tom, my teacher, also taught the film students and directed our film that we did in our last year. So he's like, you have to see these movies. You have to watch Cassavetes. And this is when I was acquiring movies in a certain way, and I got Woman Under the Influence, like, specifically, and also Killing of a Chinese Bookie. And I think I also watched Taxi Driver when I was in college, too, around this time. And I was like, fucked up if true. It is amazing just thinking, this is unrelated, but thinking about that and the piano, like, how much of Harvey Keitel's body I have seen repeatedly in so many different movies. I have seen so much of this man's body so many times, and it's like, cool. All right, man, respect.
Yeah, good for you.
Respect the willingness. I haven't seen The Parallax View yet, but...
that's been on I should probably watch that someday, shouldn't I?
I'm interested in it. I'm interested in it as a kind of double feature with All the President's Men, especially.
Oh, dude.
Or triple feature Manchurian Candidate.
Oh, man, I haven't seen the original Manchurian Candidate since I was in, like, high school.
That's another one I've never seen. This episode is me saying, I've never seen that.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, well,
but we sow the seeds.
We have time, because I think we're going to be doing kind of a loose 70s movie series for the next little bit.
Yeah.
You know, we might interrupt to do other things, but...
couple parts. Yeah.
It's sort
70s
of...
probably
my favorite,
into the 80s.
Yeah.
My strongest impression from All the President's Men is the fucking ending of that movie. When he's typing and the typing is the sound of the typewriter is matching up with the gunshot.
Yeah.
The rifles.
I got to like the last 5 minutes of that movie when they're God, what is they're talking to one of their editors like outside his house, being like, we think we're in danger, but like we're on to something here. And I paused to be like, oh, I wonder how much of this movie is left. And it was 5 minutes. And I was like, how the fuck is this possible? And it just wraps up so nicely.
Yeah.
That long final shot of, like, the TV with the like, inauguration, and they're just typing, and then the headlines going across the screen in succession as you see it all just fall to fucking pieces. So good. So good. A lot of just excellent light in that movie is what really stood out to me, both in terms of color and in terms of light versus shadow. There's several shots that are almost entirely shadow, but, like, don't feel, like, indistinct.
The 70s
That's
was
another
when
Gordon
people,
Willis movie, right?
Like, I'm not saying the 70s was when people learned to shoot at night, obviously, because the entirety of, like, film noir exists.
Sure.
But, like, the 70s, people learned to do some shit with shadow
Fucking Gordon
and,
Willis.
like, night shooting and stuff that just was, like, really broke that shit wide open.
And there's a big difference. You say noir, and I'm thinking, like, a lot of classic noir is in black and white.
Yeah, that is true.
The way that you shoot in black and white, especially at night, is really, really different than how you shoot in color. And I think that is when they started to really kind of flex those muscles there.
Yeah. Well, Gordon Willis also shot The Godfathers, and he shot The Godfathers. He shot them. No, he filmed them, and also Clute. But he has, like, a real, especially in The Godfather. But I feel like in All the President's Men too, like, there's a real warmth to it, which makes the nighttime scenes really work. Like, it just feels really warm and lived in, even as he's emphasizing the shadows. Like, all of the scenes in All the President's Men, like when he's talking to. What's his name in the garage? The source in the garage, parking garages or something. Yes. Yeah. Like that stuff.
Just
it's like really well lit.
Saying Deep Throat.
Deep Throat.
Yeah, it's a name that maybe has not aged well into the 2020s. You know, there was a moment where he was meeting up with him for the first time. I had this thought, like, I think this guy's name is Deep Throat, but that cannot be true. Oh, man, wasn't it? Fuck! Speaking of my bad Australian accent, I just remember that Mad Max 1 came out in the 70s.
Oh yeah, it did,
dude. I feel like we should do an entire 70s sci-fi episode too, because
absolutely
the elevation of genre film from B movie hell to that
Alien.
Alien,
Star
to something
Wars,
you actually spent
Mad
fucking
Max.
money on and had, like, I don't know, themes.
Yeah. Mad Max is not really a sci-fi in the first movie.
Okay, that's fair.
To be fair, but, like,
speculative
like
fiction? Can we say speculative
chase
fiction?
movie. Is the first one even explicitly, like, dystopian? I can't even remember. Like, it's
Australia just like that.
It's pre-dystopian. I think they set up at the beginning, there's this idea that, like, everybody kind of moves in, like, motorcycle gangs, including the police. So, like, you have this idea of, like, it's maybe 5 to 10 years pre-dystopian. You can see it kind of going downhill, but it's not explicitly so. And then you get to Road Warrior, and it is like, we've taken the turn.
Yes.
I really like Mad Max 1, but it is a really different movie from every other Mad Max movie, which I think I said when I watched all of them, is I was like, this is a different, if you watched this movie, you would not think this is a Mad Max movie, but it is. And I really like it. It's just not Road Warrior. The best of the Mad Max movies. The Fury Road, but...
Is Alien a film noir? Discuss.
We're doing an episode on speculative fiction in the 70s. Save it. 2, I have to think about this. So
also,
stay tuned, listeners, for discussing whether or not Alien is... this is going to become one of those, like, is Alien a film noir, controversial Reddit thread capped after comments.
Yeah. Several pages.
Yeah.
Black Christmas, My Beloved, obviously, we've touched on. Blazing Saddles.
Dude.
Yep.
I love Blazing Saddles.
Young Frankenstein. Very fucking funny.
I love Mel Brooks movies. I cannot tell a lie. I love Mel Brooks comedies. That's it. That's the post.
And you're so right.
The first time I saw Blazing Saddles, I laughed so hard I almost peed myself. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I had no concept of how funny it was gonna be. I'm also glad that I saw it, like, kind of a while ago before I had my internal instinct to cringe at the, different sensibilities due to it being a 50-year-old movie. Not that that's a totally value-neutral statement. Like, that is a movie that was made in a time that is not now.
Yeah.
I think my entire life has been permanently altered by Madeline Kahn's performance in Young Frankenstein. Just throwing that out there.
That sounds about right.
Is the moment, she is the movement. Life-changing shit. The thing about that, too, is, like, having seen Bride of Frankenstein now, finally, I'm just like, oh, right. And this movie still works.
Like, that's
what's great about it.
It's been really unfortunate for me to realize that one of my gender goals is just Gene Wilder.
Nothing unfortunate about that. I think that tracks. Yeah,
no, that's fair.
Mel Brooks gave me one of my favorite lessons about filmmaking. When he said that something about working with producers, especially on the producers, and then I think also he uses Blazing Saddles as an example. Ezra knows what story I'm about to tell. Where he was like, yeah, you just, whatever the producers tell you to do, you just say, yeah, I'll do it, and then don't do it, and then they'll forget about it, and then they'll be like, hey, nice job. So somebody on the producers was like, I need you to fire this guy, and he was talking about Gene Wilder. And he was like, yeah, sure, man, he's gone, you'll never see him again. Didn't fucking fire him, made the whole ass movie with him in it, and no problem, never came up again. And then they wanted him to cut the scene, I think the scene in Blazing Saddles that's like the campfire scene where they're all eating beans and just farting. That scene, he was like, this is disgusting and horrible and I need you to cut it. And he was like, oh my god, yeah, sure, boss, it's gone. I'm cutting it. Didn't do it, left it in. Didn't do it.
King shit.
Absolute genius mode. Fucking funny.
I feel like that's a level, it's like the movie making version of you can just leave it in.
Yeah.
They're not gonna
What are they gonna do?
What are they gonna do? Fire you? You made the movie already.
I mean, sometimes they will fire you if you take too long.
Yeah, I was gonna say, now, in an era where like
stay on
the
schedule,
Batgirl movie just got canceled,
this is the other
it's
thing.
All made.
I genuinely think that the fact that these movies existed, like, where you could just, I don't know, fuck off to the middle of Tunisia and make a movie. People can't get in fucking if you don't want their producer to get in contact with you, oh, I'm so sorry, the sat phone doesn't work out here. Like, what are they gonna fucking do? Fly halfway across the planet, put some poor bastard in a Jeep? And come out there to read you the riot acts? No, they're fucking not!
Yeah, you have to be
You're
like,
on your own. I mean,
even
up to the like late 90s, Peter Jackson basically just fucked off to New Zealand and made the Lord of the Rings films, and Warner Bros. Was like, honest to God, I don't know what he's doing down there.
Now, there's something to be said for how connected we can be now, right? I think
it's not
wonderful that the three of us are in
three different
cities
states.
Across the states and can make a podcast about it.
Yeah, that's fabulous.
I think also maybe we should be slightly less connected. I think it's very funny, the idea of fucking off to another country to make a film and no one can yell at you about it.
Like, yeah, no, by the time they figure out what you've done, that shit's in the can.
This is basically the plot of The Producers that we just described, right?
Yeah, it is.
I'm also... This is not 70s, but thinking in relation to that. If you take too long to make something, then they might have to get in a Jeep and come find you. I'm just thinking, like, I also watched a video recently about The Thief and the Cobbler, which took Richard Williams, like, 30 years to make, and then he didn't finish it, and then they were like, whoops, not your movie anymore, and then they split it into two different movies, with two different production companies, and the result was bad. Which is why I'm going to be watching the recobbled cut on YouTube sometime soon, because I'm mad interested in seeing it, because the animation is batshit beautiful.
Very curious about that. That is very
It's very
fun.
interesting.
I think I have seen it before. It's been a while, but I think I did watch that. And was very impressed.
I'm just thinking about other,
gorgeous
like,
stuff.
The 70s paranoia thriller. like, obviously, okay, I will confess, I have not actually seen
I wonder what, Sorry, go ahead.
Huh? What? Whatever you could possibly
I was going to make a stupid
about?
joke. Yeah, I was going to say, what were they paranoid about in the 70s?
Yeah. Maybe a very interesting thing. I think it is genuinely difficult to understand for people, like, I'm including myself in this, who did not live through the Cold War, to understand the psychological impact of the threat of nuclear war. Like, obviously, like, that threat exists now. I mean, like, I live in Western Washington. Fucking, if somebody decides to nuke the submarines in Bremerton, I am Toast-O-Rama. Like, yeah. I'm gonna become one of the dudes in the Chernobyl miniseries.
But it's not quite so, like, looming as it was for our parents.
No.
I talked about this with my dad before, where he showed me some of the videos that they would watch.
There's so much other shit I gotta be worried about.
Yeah.
I am so
It's an
much
accepted
more
fact now. It's just like the way of the world now.
Also, like,
right?
You are so much more likely to die in, like, you're like accepting of, like, oh, I'm probably just gonna die in, like, a more individualized tragedy, rather than, like, the two superpowers are gonna annihilate life on the planet, you know, due to a dick measuring contest. Like,
yeah. It's just not really, it's also not on the forefront anymore.
Yeah.
It's not something that is, like,
absolutely
on the news all the time. Everybody is talking about it. Everybody's thinking about it. We have a few other handful of things that everybody's always talking and thinking about now that will impact our children. Yeah. You know, but that's our burden. Our parents had the Cold War.
It's just like, there's a vibe to it, and it is the paranoia thriller, or things that are sort of adjacent to that. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just thinking about, like, my dad being like, this is so many, because look, this is such a, like, what was that joke from that one quiz? It was like, nice music, like, nice taste in movies, did your dad pick it out for you? And I'm like, shut up. My father did sit me down when I was in high school and insist that we watch the Day of the Jackal, which is insanely good, and you guys should watch it. And also made me think about attempting to wear cravats at one point. I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, at one point?
Shut up.
Not like now.
Yeah, something
said with love, but yeah,
thanks. I gotta do something with my ridiculous scarf collection.
This is true.
Or, like, I don't know. I don't really know where I was going with that. All the President's Men is a similar vibe. Oh, my dumb story about All the President's Men was that I watched that movie and I got so obsessed with it I applied to Northwestern's journalism school for undergrad. Obviously, I didn't get in, but, you know. That movie set my brain on fire. Oh, that movie set my brain on fire for, like, a good, like, 10 months when I was, like, 17
fair
or
enough.
whatever.
It's really compelling.
I read the fucking book because of that.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna read the book. And I also, there was a book that was literally just the full transcripts of all of the tapes. Watergate tapes. That I fucking read.
Crazy.
It's like this thick. Viewers, you can't see me right now, but I'm holding my thumb and my pointer finger apart in a comically wide fashion.
Yeah.
I think the thing...
Yeah.
The thing with the 70s political thriller is that there is a sense... One, there is that sense of novelty in the idea that, like, oh, this is all so much worse than we thought it was. You know, like, yo, holy shit. Government bad or whatever. Like, not like people didn't know that before, but the level of lying that was revealed to be...
A conspiracy so big, it goes all the way up to our president.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, the just impossible scale of the conspiracy, but also the sense that somebody who was well-placed and lucky, but also smart and scrappy and willing to take a risk could, like, maybe hypothetically do something about it, as opposed to the, you know, sort of immobilizing sense of the surveillance state, where you fucking know everything's a conspiracy, but also they're gonna be able to minority report you before you get anywhere. Like,
which I think is what Parallax View is about.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it is there, but, like, I feel like there's, like, it's a novel idea. You know, it's like like the 70s, this is where it first crops up.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, in a way. I don't know what I'm talking about. I really need to eat dinner.
No, I mean, I'm picking up what you're putting down, though. There's this idea in that, like, it's a compelling thought that, like, I can do something.
Yeah.
Which, you know, God, isn't that the plot of so many movies, right? Is the idea that, like, I could do something about X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
In an era where, like, those things were happening in real life. They were happening on the news.
Yep.
And, you know, people were going to protests and all, you know, that, like, of course that is also reflected in cinema. One of the top places that we see fantasies. We see power fantasies like that. Or we see, you know... the idea of, like, control. And plenty of people smarter than me have talked forever about, like, we see the events of history and culture reflected in the things that we create, and that is really obvious in, like, the 70s. In, like, what was happening in the 70s, watch a movie about it and you'll be able to tell.
Yeah.
God, no wonder Halloween, a movie about a guy that you cannot see following you around, was made in the 70s.
Oh!
Damn.
Yeah.
I also just...
There's a really, Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you should keep talking, because I was just gonna pivot to, beauty ideals.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, well, there's a really great fake book called The Invisible Bridge by Rick Perlstein, who also wrote 2 books called Reaganland and Nixonland, where he talks about... The Invisible Bridge is, like, the end of Nixon's presidency, and then Gerald Ford's presidency, and then, like, the beginnings of Reagan's, like, first failed bid of the presidency. Terrifying shit. I read it in 2016, which was a bad time to read it. It's pretty, but it's a really interesting book, and, like, it talks a lot about the cultural history as well as the political history of the time. And he talks about exactly what you said, Z, that, like, there's a history. He talks specifically about the Parallax View and All the President's Men, the conversation, like, a lot of paranoid thrillers in all movies of that time where there's this, like, undercurrent of, like, erosion of trust. He even talks about, like, The Exorcist in it. It's like, what's her name?
Point.
The heiress that was kidnapped. Patty
Hearst.
Something. Patty Hearst, and, like, that whole thing, and then her, like, siding with her captors and everything, and the public reaction to that, which that's a whole, not going to comment on that, but, like, that was reflected in, like, some horror movies of the time period, like The Exorcist is, like, you don't even know your own child. Like, you don't, your children are transforming and before your very eyes, and they're possessed by something that's unknowable, and there's people you can't trust around every corner. Clute is also this movie as well.
So that's
very
welcome
much
to
a
the
theme.
70s. Everybody's getting fucking gaslit all the time.
Welcome to the 70s.
Yeah.
But beauty ideals, that's a nice conversation.
Yeah.
I want to have.
Yeah.
I was going to say, nice thing to go out on, maybe.
I just literally was trying to remember, the thought process there was, I can't remember what year Norma Ray came out. Oh, 1979. Anyway, up until, like, 2 days ago, I feel like everyone should know that my Discord display name was Chest Hair Conservation Society. And I'm here to talk to you about why the 70s were better, because everybody just was allowed to fucking have body hair.
Say it.
Yeah. The 70s, I mean, like, the 70s, obviously movies started to get horny in the 60s, but, like, the sort of, like, ambient horniness level, I mean, there are some horny movies. Look, Midnight Cowboy came out in the 70s.
I just watched Vertigo.
In the 60s. There have always been horny movies. Obviously. Yes. There have always... People have been being horny on film as long as we've been able to put shit on film. We're a horny species. That's what we do. That being said, the sort of ambient horniness of your average film, I feel like peaked in the 70s. Like, obviously this whole thing where, like, films are, like, either horny, like, unless they're, like, a capital H horny movie, they're, like, weirdly sexless, is, like, very new. But, like, the 70s are horny.
Nightmare.
Most of the 70s are just, the movies are sort of just ambiently horny.
Yeah. In a way, I think the only other decade that I think comes close to it or equals it is probably the 30s.
Yeah.
Like pre-code 30s stuff. When they weren't being like,
absolutely.
we have to kiss like this away from the camera.
Yeah. Pre-code movies are horny as fuck. And then we were finally released from the shackles of the Hays Code, and movies went right back to being unrelentingly horny.
We're gonna be so horny about it.
Gotta put as much of Harvey Keitel on the screen as we possibly can.
Please, God,
trend,
please.
I mean, obviously the 70s didn't start, like, the trend toward naturalism. That's a new thing. That wasn't, like, a new thing. But I feel like the mainstreaming of naturalism was a new thing. Same with, like, obviously, like, foreign film didn't arrive in the 1970s, but the mainstreaming of it did. I mean, you could go to the weird art house theater in Seattle, Washington, which is kind of a fucking backwater, in, like, 1976 or whatever, and you could be my dad, and you could go see the Kurosawa film Dersu Utsula and have it just, like, stick in your brain for 50 fucking years. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Literally, my dad was like, no, we have to rent this movie, I need to explain it to you. It's a weird movie. I liked it, but I was just like, yeah, okay, I can see how this would have made a very strong impression on you in a weird art house film cinema in, like, 1987. Because you'd never seen anything like that before. What I'm saying is stop making everybody remove their fucking body hair. It's weird. And it just is. What
I'm saying is, let's go back to the time when Long Goodbye was made, so that we can have Elliot Gould in the Long Goodbye again.
Literally the horny.
I will never stop preaching the gospel of Elliot Gould in the Long Goodbye. Hottest man I've ever seen, except for the guy in Norma Rae that you just reminded me of, who I literally
He's so
was
hot.
like,
yeah.
I gotta pay attention to the plot. I gots to pay attention to the plot here, but I can't.
He just keeps walking around being emphatically in favor of union organizing, with his shirt, like, hat on, basically,
and having his tits out, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the thing is, like, everybody got to be sexy in the 70s. Like,
I think we talked about that when we talked about Norma Rae,
I think we did. The idea that, like, the sort of assumption that the primary thing you were doing with sexuality in any context was packaging female sexuality, like, was packaging the female body for consumption, hadn't really, like, taken over yet. Like, obviously it's not like some sort of feminist paradise, whatever, that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm saying that, like, I feel like men and women were portrayed, like, as equally just, like, naturally sexual beings a lot more of the time in 70s movies. And also just, like, obviously these people are, like, hot, but they're not, like, you know, nobody's taking a bunch of steroids. Like, nobody's having to be, like, waxed within an inch of their lives. There's
no one's deeply dehydrated.
Nobody has stopped drinking water for the past 19 hours so you can see, like, all 17 of their abdominal muscles on one side, which is freaky.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Chest Hair Conservation Society has logged on. Let people look like adult, sexually mature human beings again. Please, I'm literally begging you. It's fucked up and weird, dude.
I feel like also there's yeah, for real. And this is not 70s exclusive. This is something that we continue to see into the later parts of the 20th century that is missing currently. I feel like we spent a lot of time on this podcast being like, movies these days suck, and every time I have to be like, I don't think movies these days suck.
There's plenty of movies these days I fucking love.
But I think that there's a lot of people who are who get to be sexy in 70s movies and later, that, like, these days would have been relegated to character actor status.
Yeah, no, absolutely,
that have, like,
100%.
unique features that, like, you would not have had Al Pacino being a sexy leading man these days.
No. That's the thing. It's
a shame, because he's so hot in The Godfather.
So hot, beautiful. But he's hot in a way because he's hot because he has personality.
Yes.
You know, he's hot because his combination of facial features is eye catching and unique. I feel like that's
and what he's doing is interesting.
And what he's doing,
you can't take your eyes off him.
Yeah.
So the longer you look at him, the more you're like, huh, tiny and beautiful.
Like, wow,
interesting.
Fuck.
Tiny and beautiful.
But just like
tiny and beautiful.
Yeah, like even
like a cat.
There were so many stars of that era, and especially men. Obviously, I think there was a little bit less variety in terms of what was considered acceptable for women as there is now.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yes.
But, I mean, think about, like, Donald Sutherland.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Weird looking dude.
Hot guy, weird looking dude.
Yeah.
Like,
very conflicted in the Clute.
But, like...
Because it's like him and Jane Fonda and Roy Scheider is not a good person in it.
I know,
but
he's so hard to do it. Yeah, you're like, I know, but he would still
so
make it like you're like, okay, but yeah, like, still like a screen door in a hurricane.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or think
it's
about All the
Scheider,
President's Men.
Not.
Where you, for real. Where you have, All the President's Men, where you have Robert Redford, like,
truly
very classic leading man.
Impossibly beautiful.
Very handsome.
Yeah.
With Dustin Hoffman, who is an interesting looking guy. And still very handsome in that movie. There's not, like, he's relegated to being, like, the ugly one. Like, they're both very handsome.
Yeah, they're both handsome and charismatic.
They're tall and small.
And they look different.
They're both compelling leading men.
Yeah, and they, like, are visually distinctive. I mean, I'm just thinking about, like, the latest, like, I know I pick on the New Man from U.N.C.L.E. movie, like, to an unfair degree. But
it's our podcast, whatever, who gives a shit?
It's our podcast, I can say whatever I want. It's not that I didn't have fun in that movie. It's just that...
It's fun. But, like...
But if you put Armie Hammer and... What's his fucking name?
What's this fucking British guy? No, he's not English. I'm sorry.
He's American. What's
Henry
his fucking
Cavill.
Henry Cavill. You put the two of them next to each other... That is a character created. That is the same character creator preset with the fucking tint slider changed.
Yeah, they're very.
One
similar.
of them is blonde, the other one is brunette, and that is the only difference between the two of them. Like, let's be real here. If you were like fairly face blind, you'd be like, I don't know who these people fucking are. And that's, you know, it's like there's so like one template. There is one jawline. Shared, and everybody in Hollywood has to share it. They must trade it. There must be some sort of timeshare schedule.
Yeah,
because there's one fucking jawline.
And if you need a different jawline, then you get the same person with the same jawline, and you put a bunch of makeup on them, and then they have them pretend to have the jawline instead of just hiring an actor with a jawline.
Exactly.
I'm looking at you.
There's a post that's going around on Tumblr talking about how, like, God, it's Willem Dafoe and Steve Buscemi. It's like. You would not get these guys as leading men these days that are both, one, extremely talented, very good actors, and also, like, weird looking
dudes.
And hot.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Willem Dafoe is very hot. He's a very weird looking man.
Steve Buscemi is not necessarily... Sexy. Well, actually, Steve Buscemi is handsome in Desperado.
Yeah.
But otherwise is not
parting
generally
glances.
Type, but...
And also, like, I don't...
Me neither, but
No, it's just vibes.
I forgot that John Waters was making movies during this decade.
Mm-hmm.
That's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
What? I'm just thinking what year... Oh, yeah. I guess Pink Flamingos came out the same year as The Godfather, which is...
a year in film.
For quite a year. We talked about this before, that this is... 1972 is the year of The Godfather, Pink Flamingos, Silent Running, and fucking Horror Express. So...
Our best friend, Horror Express, yeah.
Our best friend, Horror Express.
I think the plan for, like, the next few episodes is to do more, like, talk about 70s, maybe go into the 80s. At some point, we're going to do our series. We have, like, a few kind of things we want to start getting into. We talked about, we did Summer of the Rings and enjoyed that, and, like, haven't really done anything like that since. So I think that we want to continue. Obviously, there's a lot of meat on this bone here. I think that we could do... I specifically, but I know us as a group have been watching a lot of stuff from, like, the 80s and 90s, too. So, like, I don't know. This is a summer of the 20th century. And I think we want to keep talking about that. But for the time being, I am going to take us out because Ezra's having a little bit of audio issues. So on that note, thanks for hanging out with us here on Sneople at the Movies from the Infinity Break Network. Check out infinitybreak.net for more awesome content. And come hit us up on Twitter at people_snake or shoot us an email at sneepleatthemovies@gmail.com. Our amazing music was done by Johnny Ronaldo. You can find at Johnny Ronaldo on Twitter. Our super snazzy logo was designed by Bethany Luthold. You can check her out at bethanyluthold.wixsite.com. If you got a subject you want to hear us talk about, a movie you think we absolutely need to see, or a 70s-themed Unusual Double Feature rec to share, come say hello. Also, if you can, please leave a review on iTunes and share the show with any friends you think would enjoy it. Any way you can help us spread the news is always appreciated. And also, I like reading the reviews separately from that. It gives me joy. As always, thanks for listening, and we'll see you at the movies.